Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting of November 20th, 2024. The Wareham Conservation Commission will hold a meeting under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6, and any other applicable laws. All hearings of the Wareham Conservation Commission are held simultaneously under the authorities of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Town of Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6. Although a single decision of the Commission is issued, it represents a separate decision under each authority. All matters listed may involve a decision and possible vote. I'm going to call the meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Jessica Parr. Paula Jean O'Neill.
Sandy Slavin.
Kwame Barty.
Michael Mercier.
Scott Sobey.
Joseph Still.
Christine Santos.
Thank you. I declare we have a quorum so we can have our meeting. We do need a clerk pro temp. Kwame has offered, so I need a motion to name him clerk pro temp for tonight.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, so we are 500. You are now clerk pro temp,
Awesome.
Kwame.
Thank you. Notice of
First hearing, please.
public hearing.
Yep.
Pursuant of the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wareham Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Division 6. A public hearing will be held in room 520, Wareham Multicultural Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. On Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, at 6 p.m. on the request of determination of applicability for Robert Torres, 7 Peaceful Lane, East Wareham, Mass. 02538. Installation of a 4-foot black aluminum fence in the backyard, and this is on map 119, lot 409 and 410, 7 Peaceful Lane, East Wareham, Mass.
And who's here representing this project?
Robert Torres. Good evening.
Okay, Robert, I'm going to ask you to stand and raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth on this project for 7 Peaceful Lane?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Be
you.
seated and talk to us about what you want to do.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Looking to have a 4-foot black steel fence installed in our backyard. That will consist of about 120 feet of the steel and 30 linear feet of the chain link fence. It'll be in 3 separate parts. To the right of our house, we will have a gate with the steel fence, chain link to clear an empty fence line that is between 2 of our neighbors' fences that is already in place. And then the big one is going to go about 30 feet-ish up where the pond is, all the way up to the back end of our house. Looking to do that, obviously, for aesthetics for our house, but also going to be welcoming a newborn baby next month. And when he gets older, I'd like for him not to go jump in the pond.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's really the long and short of it.
Now, Christine, I did not swear you in. Will you please? I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth
Yes.
for all these projects in front of us. Thank you very much. You want to comment on this? We are concerned about the 30-foot no activity zone off from the wetlands.
So you do have the 30-foot no activity zone, but you can make a,
An exception, almost?
yes, an exception. I'm sorry, I forget words very easily. Yes, you can make an exception.
So we can, because I am concerned, because part of this fence is within the 30-foot of the wetlands, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask questions. Jessica,
No questions at this time.
Paula Jean.
No questions. I was there and looked at it. It was not staked. I didn't comment on that at the time, just so you know, for anyone else who went there.
Kwame, was it yeah, Kwame?
Oh, I'm sorry. No questions, thank you.
Michael?
Yes, excuse me. I just got one here. Now, from what I understand, the depth of the posts are gonna vary, correct? Depending on where they are on the property?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and, let's see. Now, how far deep into the ground are those posts gonna go? Do we know?
Yes, they are going to, if you give me 2 seconds, please. It is in fence post shall place tail. This is not my forte when it comes to that, but, table 3 plus or minus a half, if that tells you anything. It's a 4-foot fence. I'm trying to look at, post sides are gonna be 2 feet, and the post setting's 96 3/4.
All right. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, how deep?
I thought, isn't that what you just said? Is this gonna go 2 feet or?
Post size 2 feet, and then the post settings are gonna be 96 3/4. I don't know how deep they're gonna, I don't, it's somewhere in here. Again, I am looking,
I heard the numbers, and I'm trying to subtract 48 from it.
hold on, so I see, Fabio, this is the schematic, and it looks like it's about a 21-inch minimum foot depth for,
Okay.
if that helps, sorry. I'm a banker by trade, not a,
Gotcha, okay.
Scott?
thanks, Scott.
A couple of observations before I ask my questions. One is, there seems to be a lot of fencing in that area that extends right down to the edge of the pond. So it seems like there's already quite a bit of fencing that your neighbors have. There's a concrete block wall. I assume that's not yours?
That is not mine, that's the house behind us, correct?
Okay, so this is already a disturbed site, I mean, to my view. And where would the water level be? How would you measure for the 30-foot? Because it's pretty low right at the moment.
Correct.
But I assume that the pond is not always that low.
No, so we've only, like I mentioned, we've only been in the house we bought the house 2.5 months ago. So the water level was slightly higher than what we saw when you came to the house this afternoon. It's probably been maybe about 4 or 5 feet away, like where it was, probably a little bit closer up, but it was always on the lower end. And I assess that obviously due to the lack of rain that we've been receiving this year. So I don't really truly know how high the water level can go on that pond. Talking to neighbors that I know around the area, they've said that the pond water levels have stayed pretty consistent over time. There's always been some sort of almost erosion there as it's with drought season, but I can't tell you in exact like how high it actually could get.
Okay. So the contract states that a mini-track loader would be used if it's possible for that site. Have you talked with your contractor whether the mini-track loader would be used or not for that project?
They would use that, yes.
Okay. So the commission might think about protections for the area from the mini-track loader, from that equipment?
And what will that equipment do? Dig the holes?
I believe it'll dig the holes. It'll start getting everything placed into formation for the actual fence, correct?
Joe?
I didn't see a plan submitted. Did we ever get, no?
No.
Not showing where that 30-foot comes in?
The only plan that's there is showing very simplified versions of the fence and then the pond next to it.
Gotcha. And this fence is within that 30-foot?
Yes.
Could you bring up an aerial of that site?
Before? I guess while we wait, my main question here is this planned to get all done one day, all one shot, or is this something that's going to take over a course of like a week or?
It would be in one shot, whether it takes a full day or a couple days.
Okay.
We didn't get that far in regards to that piece, but the plan would be to complete this all in,
Okay.
one shift or within a day or two of each other.
Gotcha. So I guess my question here is
Turn one of the lights out.
where would you be storing some of this material on site?
So they would bring their truck in and they would hold that through there. If they needed to
Thank you.
hold any of that, we have a very steep, long driveway that could hold all that, in addition to my garage.
I would think the commission looks at maybe putting condition in there where construction debris is actually stored, farther away from that 30-foot. I'd hate to see it be stored right next to the pond.
That could absolutely, that wouldn't, I don't believe that'd be an issue at all, because again, if you come up towards the pond to the right of the house is our driveway. They could plant everything right there, which would be well within that, well above that 30-foot
Okay, yeah,
regulation.
I'd like to see something in there like that. I mean, it's just a problem when you have debris right next to the water, you know, obviously,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
there's a flood, so.
No, that's,
So the debris would be the soil you take out of the ground?
Well, I guess your big metal posts, so
You're
this
talking
is,
about more
the-
the metal
yeah,
posts, right.
But
more of all
that's
this.
just a temporary storage before it's installed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would say just keep it away from the water.
So your neighbor has fences. I could not find how they were permitted.
I would love to find that out too, because that's what made what I thought a non-event an event. Because we noticed our neighbor to the house right behind us has
Yeah,
the
12 Mayflower, yeah, I have no idea.
and that's been there. They just moved there a while recently too. And then if you go encompass the entire pond area, everyone has some sort of fencing installed. And from talking to a couple neighbors, it looks like it was there before they moved into the house. So I think
Could very well have been there before we implemented the 30-foot.
that's the consensus.
All right, so there's the pond, and Christine, can you show us the 30-footer, the 30-foot?
So the 30-foot from the pond, if you go down here, and let me just, sorry. It's pretty close to this. Let me see if I can get that to stay.
I mean, it looks like your back deck is in 30-foot.
Is or is not?
Is.
Is.
Yeah.
Well, so this deck is to go, I'm trying to have an idea of where the deck is on the land. I mean, sorry, the fence is on the land.
Where it will be on the land?
Yeah.
Is the commission okay if I kind of go up to
Yeah,
the screen?
yes, please, thank you. Give me a hint as to,
Yeah.
I can see it off the house, but it doesn't,
Okay, hopefully everyone can see what I'm doing here. So here obviously is my side here. So if we're going, this is my neighbor's house here, that's their fence, there's the neighbor's fence. The plan is, this is a really weird picture for me to be looking at. So there is a flower bed, a planter's bed right here. To the closest, the side of the planter's bed to the lake, to the pond. We'd be going up this way and kind of skirting right to, here's the corner of the deck. And then going up this way, and then there is, we would then have the gate that goes there. So it would essentially go from right about here, down, and then we'd be just kind of skirting right about to there. So it's kind of, again,
and you'd connect to your neighbor's fences?
they would,
No.
a new post would be in place. It wouldn't be, it would be abutting it,
Abutting it?
yes.
So that lawn that I see there will be included, not that lawn, your lawn,
My lawn here,
will be included inside the fenced area?
correct.
Okay. Christine, any comments on this?
So we went out to the site, and part of the deck that you have now, it looks like a bit of it had broken off and was in the buffer to that pond.
I removed that. I noticed that when I walked out earlier, and I actually already removed that.
That was today.
I did not realize I was there. I actually didn't go around that corner since we moved over there, but I did pull that out already.
All right. We saw that
Yeah, I
today,
pulled
so
that
we were
out
just
already.
wondering.
Yeah, I took care of that.
All right. That was
I
the
couldn't
one.
take the green pole that's staked already down there is what, that was already, whatever that, there's already a stake that's already grounded into there.
All
I
right.
don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have the ability for an exception for the 30-foot for this fence.
This is up to you, yeah.
We have a little leeway on that because of the safety component
Yes.
of the pond. Anybody online or in the audience would like to comment on this project? Are you seeing none?
Make a motion to close the hearing?
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second?
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. The hearing is closed. This is a request for determination. We can request the materials stored on the driveway, but we cannot put it in the order of conditions because there is no order of conditions on an RDA. So would someone like to take, Christine, your recommendation?
So a -3 and a -6, with a few conditions for the -3. One of them being that erosion controls are used around the limit of work, just because there is going to be digging. That there is an updated site plan provided that shows the proximity of the fence to the resource area and includes that 30-foot no activity zone. And then the staging and stockpiling you can't do, but the fence has to be at least 10 feet from the edge of the pond.
Can I ask,
And, sorry, 10 feet from the edge of the pond may not always be the edge of the water, but what shows as the pond limit, whether it was more or less water in it. You can tell where the pond could go
Yes.
normally as opposed to where it is now.
Correct.
Okay, was that your, yeah. So we have a -3 and a -6 and 1, 2, I hear 4 conditions on it, including staging.
Yes.
All right, who wants to take a shot at that?
Can I ask just one more question?
Yeah.
Is it too late?
Oh, yes, the hearing's closed.
Okay,
You can,
but as a condition of the
yes, if you
proposed
want to add
condition,
something to the condition.
that we not use the heavy equipment back there and that the holes are hand dug?
I'll talk to my contractor.
I think that, great, I think we'll do a hand dug, no machinery on that site, because it is awful close to the water.
And Doug, no machinery. Okay. I will obviously go back to my contractor and talk to them about that.
that is in the contract, that if the machinery can't be used on site, then they would hand dig the holes?
Yep, so we're saying no machinery on the site and hand dig the,
And Doug, no machinery. Heard.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, who wants to take a shot at it?
Sure. You don't want to so moved, want me to list it?
Oh, well,
Okay,
I
so
need a
I'll move.
motion.
I'll move that we approve the project with erosion controls in place, that an updated plan is presented to us, that the materials for the fence project are stored up in the driveway, not near the water or on the ground, that the fencing will be a minimum of 10 feet from the pond's edge, being the edge when it's fully full of water, not this year. And that no heavy equipment is allowed, that the posts are hand dug holes.
And we issue with a -3 and a -6.
-3, yeah.
That be the motion.
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, with 500. You have it, and do not start any work until you get your documentation from Christine, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Next one, please.
Okay, this is a request for a determination of applicability for Robert Stone. It says 12 Kennedy, but on here it says 4 Lantern Lane.
Well, that's where they live.
Okay. 4 Lantern Lane, North Reading, Mass. 01864, and this is installing a 18 kilowatt Generac standby generator to feed existing 200 amp transfer switch and fueled by existing 2 120 gallon propane tanks. The generator will be placed in a precast concrete platform. A 2-foot deep trench will be dug between the generator and existing transfer switch on the houses and between the propane tanks and generator. These trenches will facilitate wiring and fuel lines to the generator. After placement of the lines, the trenches will be filled in and reseeded with grass to match the existing surroundings. Work within a 100-foot buffer zone, but outside of 30-foot no activity zone. Includes replacing a dilapidated 10-foot by 14-foot shed with a new one, and same location, and resurface the driveway area and crush shells, pea stone, or perimeter materials. This is on map 78-2-130 lot 78/130, 12 Kennedy Street, West Wareham, Mass.
And
I'm sorry, I
who's-
don't have my glasses. Sorry. I can't see those.
And who's here representing this project? Please come forward.
Oh, and I'd like to open up the hearing, sorry. I didn't say
yes.
that before.
Oh, I have to open the hearing. I need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained. The hearing is opening. You're going to have to, I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth on this project at 12 Kennedy Street. Please have a seat and identify who you are.
My name is Robert Stone. This is my wife, Mary Ellen. We are the owners of the property. And here to answer questions. Basically,
Okay, what's happening?
so what's happening is sometime in July, I spoke to Josh, and actually what precipitated the whole thing, even though it sort of reversed the way it was in the description, was we were replacing the shed. The shed was installed, and I actually have the building permit in 1998. But it's dilapidated, there are mice getting in it, so on and so forth. It's between the 100-foot top of coastal bank and the 100-foot top of coastal bank per some other, I'm not really sure what it is. So I spoke to Josh, I wasn't sure. He said, yes, it needs to be, an RDA, and I said, okay, fine. And then I mentioned to him about the generator and the driveway, and he said, put those on there too. So you have the plan in front of you, and, I actually we have to also go in front of the zoning board because it's in the front of the house. So I have a zoning board hearing on the 11th of December for that.
Okay. All right, questions? Jessica?
Come back to me if you don't mind. I'll try and remember.
Okay, thank you. Remind me if Paula Jean?
So I see your existing driveway, you want to resurface, you want to surface it, right? It's not paved or anything, it's just natural right now.
Right now, it's just grass, and
It's fine.
it's basically the street it's eroding down into the river now, and I want to try to stop that when
Okay,
it
that's-
rains.
Where it said resurface, I thought, there is no
Well,
surface.
yeah,
So,
that comes from the original
so the
plan.
crushed shells or pea stone, you're leaning toward the shells?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because that seems to be one of the things that do, but I actually was hearing, at a hearing, or listening to a hearing you guys had since Kennedy Street has been so popular last. And somebody mentioned there's some other type of like permeable, almost permeable asphalt, or some more solid surface, and I want to do some research on that, so that's why I put that, because the problem with pre-stone or crushed shells is in the wintertime when you go to plow it, it makes a mess, So, not that we would plow that much, because it's typically, a house that we don't use that much in the winter, but if there is some permeable material, and I certainly would, clear it with here, that has a more solid feel to it, I would certainly take a look at it. So I just wanted to leave that option
Different
open.
materials, so we've been looking into that.
But I want to make it, the main point is that it will be permeable.
Right, that's good, it'll be permeable, and you would let us know if you were trying to go with something like reclaim, because that's basically ground up asphalt.
Right,
And it does
exactly.
leach more chemicals.
Right,
to
well, that's what the
water, so
actual
it would not
street
be-
is.
Yeah, that would not be
Yeah,
a
no,
good
I would,
choice. Okay,
and I wouldn't do that anyway aesthetically, and, it's,
Good.
yeah, no.
thank you.
Kwame?
Other than the driveway, other than that, this is not a conservation question, but, two 120-gallon propane tanks, that's pretty good.
Well,
So
that heats the
that's-
house, too.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It must be more than
Yeah, I
this
mean,
for
that's-
standby,
yeah.
right? So,
Well, standby generator will burn, 2 or 3 gallons an hour, and, you have oh, yeah, I looked it up, and it will burn 2 or 3 gallons of propane an hour, so if you have a 2 or 3 day, or, you have a hurricane and you have a week of no power, yeah, you could, blow through that tank.
like they say, if you don't have it,
In fact,
you need it, and then when the days that you don't have it, you don't need it.
Yes,
So you
exactly.
definitely, nice.
Full disclosure, in terms of the 30-foot no-work zone, there is a couple of feet you can see on the plan where it goes to the cable has to be placed in the ground up to the, transfer switch. So, I'm not sure, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
Okay.
It would,
Thank you.
my expectation would be it would be dug, placed, and filled in all on the same day, and we certainly will put, wattles there and straw wattle or whatever to protect it.
Yep. Michael?
Yeah, so I've been battling something for like weeks now, so I make a coffee once in a while. Sorry there, Quavi, I don't need to spread to you now.
Now you tell me.
I'll cough in that direction next. No, I don't know about everybody else on the commission, but the only thing I saw was a plot plan and some pictures. Was that the only thing that was submitted? Or?
No, there was some
'cause
updated
I didn't
plan.
see any like written documents or anything like that. So this was awfully confusing when I was reading it. And I didn't know if this was, as you mentioned, also on Candy Street, this seemed also, I didn't know if this was also,
So this
I
is,
should put-
so this is an
This is-
RDA,
this
so
is-
it's a completely different type of form than in a order of conditions.
so,
You know, a notice of intent, it is a different filing.
okay, so I didn't have to, so this
There is a
graph
form-
right here was all that,
No, there is a form.
I didn't even see a form.
It's submitted. I have it here. I mean, I submitted it to the website, and I put it in the 2 packets that required.
All I saw was this, all I saw was this plot plan right here, and,
You didn't see this Form 1?
The RDA.
nope, I didn't see that at all.
It should be, I thought I,
Christine,
Yeah, it's
are
here.
you looking?
He does have one. Let me see.
I also have, I don't know if you need them here, but I have the certified mailing receipts and the green cards that I've gotten back so far.
Yep, and you can give those to Christine so she has them. So,
Because for some odd reason, I didn't find them.
Find
The-
it?
the- the only thing-
Not online.
Just clicked it off, yeah, hang on.
yes, okay, no,
Yeah, the abutter.
Paula Jean.
This was the butter notification
Correct, the-
part, but there are several documents in there.
okay.
If what you're,
Correct.
I don't think the application is online. It just.
Correct, correct. I didn't see the application. The only thing I saw was like the plot plans, the
Oh, on that.
butters list, and a picture of a dilapidated shed. It's basically the only thing I saw.
The link that
Butters
says
list.
application and
It's
site
just
plan
for
only
the
has the site
shed.
plan.
And the building permit for the shed. So he's right, Mike's right.
So there is nothing in there.
No.
Christine, what do you see?
So there is nothing in here. I guess it wasn't uploaded online. We do have the paper copies of it in the office.
Okay,
I guess that was my error. I thought when you did, because you filled it all out online, and I thought when you filled it all out online and submitted it, then that created the document
So
for you.
there
So
must
I'm
have been
sorry,
an error
that was my
somewhere.
error
All
then.
right.
I just assumed that when I hit submit,
Okay,
because I'm
I
filling
was
out
a
the
little-
exact same information that this is. In fact, this is generated from there. I mean, I can give you this if you want to, look through it,
All right, that's,
but this is, 1, 2, where's the other page?
because I got awfully confused. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know if this was related to, say, 4 and 8 Candy Street, because next thing you know, this is 12. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I got awfully confused.
This is, like I said, I
Thank
thought
you.
when you hit submit, that
Sure.
yeah. So,
that's, you guys got a copy of it. I didn't realize that,
Yeah, we got the paper copies. We have the 2.
yeah, I gave you the paper copies, but,
No, that's.
you want to find
that's
a
fine.
way of getting on it electronically? You want to return it?
I mean, I can upload it when I get back home. I mean, that's not an issue. It's in an electronic
Christine, what do
form
you,
now.
you want it electronically loaded?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
do that.
Okay.
All right, that's all, thank
You're
you.
going to give,
I'm sorry,
you want to keep those?
You can keep them,
you sure?
yeah, so
All right,
Okay,
I have an electronic copy anyway, so.
all right, that's all, thank you.
thank you, Mike. Scott?
I was just going to tease you about getting my hard copy, but I
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Well, let me get Fred Flintstone with the,
So, just some observations about the site first. It's more level than a lot of sites we've been at, so I was less concerned about erosion than other sites we've been at. I'm always happy when some kind of dilapidated building or structure is being replaced, because I know that some of that's going to end up in the watershed. So I'm glad that the shed's going to be replaced. I did have questions about what kind of materials you were going to use for the driveway. You've already addressed those. And then my impression was that the driveway was going to go much closer to the generator site than what's depicted in the plot plan.
I mean, I've staked it out, and when I walked it out, pretty much from what I have here, that's where I put the stakes. It might come a little bit further back and forth, but, it's not gonna come anywhere, it's,
Okay.
I wanna keep the grass as much as I can.
Yeah, that was my question, because
Yeah.
it seemed like the worn, the driveway that you have now looks like it's worn a lot closer to the house than what this would be.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is basically the erosion, and I don't honestly know how to address that. What happens is, because of the way the street is, there's, and it's outside the 100-foot buffer zone, but the water just comes running down Kennedy Street and then kicks off right down, and if you look, you'll see there's erosion going right down. That's one of the reasons why I want to reserve it. I want to try to build it up a little bit so that it'll keep the water hopefully running down to the drain at the end of the street, because I really don't like it running across my driveway into the river. Actually, years ago, it went in and it went down the well, and when we were still on wells, it filled in the well. So, the erosion has been an issue there, and I'm trying to, figure out a way of fixing it.
Okay, no more questions, thank you.
Joe?
No questions for me.
Christine, comments, please.
So Josh and I did go out there to look at everything that was staked out, and the driveway does look to be not really surfaced right now, like Paula Jean mentioned. So we did have a few concerns about that, since it would essentially be surfacing a driveway that exists naturally, but you would basically need to do new work to put that in.
Sure, I mean, basically, the reason I put that in there also is the plan that we rebuilt that house in 2020, came before the board. I think you were on the board at the time. We had quite a discussion about different options of doing the house, if
Yes.
you may remember. And that was on the original plan. And we never actually did anything with it. And so when I was doing this plan, I mentioned that to Josh, and I said, well, the old plan got closed with an order of conditions. What should I do? And he said, well, put that on the plan also. So, if it causes an issue, I mean, I'll do whatever the board requests. I mean, it just, as I said, something permeable, something that, sort of delineates a driveway rather than people just driving over the grass back and forth is the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was thinking about in terms of edging, some kind of an edging, but, if that's an issue, then I won't do that either. I mean, it's whatever the board, my primary thing frankly is to get the shed replaced, but, since it was on the original plan, I'd like to do something with the there to delineate some kind of a driveway. I'm clearly want to make sure that it's try to keep it as environmentally friendly as possible, rather than, the way some of the other people have just tied up the whole areas. So whatever you suggest, we're certainly open to.
Okay.
All right, anybody online or in the audience would like to comment on this project? My question for you is, what are you going to control the runoff from the new shed?
The runoff from, you mean while construction, or?
No, when the shed is built, what are you going to do with the rain coming off the roof of the shed?
Well, there's going to be like a 1 foot larger,
Drop zone? Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll fall into the,
it's a crushed rock. It's
around, okay, thank you. That's, I was worried about the erosion that might have happened from that, but you got it covered with a drop zone.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
The company actually requires it, it's going to be a, major company that shed.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? If not,
Motion to close the hearing?
I have a motion to close the hearing.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Christine, your recommendation, please.
So after consulting with Josh about it, we came to the conclusion that it would be better to file a notice of intent for it, just because of the driveway.
Could we approve the rest of the project and not the driveway at this time?
I believe so, yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I'm just a little surprised because I had been in conversation with Josh back and forth since July about this, and he recommended the RDA, but, again, I just want to get the shed replaced.
Yeah.
Primarily.
So we're looking at, with that recommendation, we're looking at the shed and the generator pads and the lines needed in order to establish the electrical hookups, and that we take the driveway resurfacing off of the plan. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that your recommendation?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? Mm-hmm. If it was already approved in 2020, that they had approval to do the driveway, why do they need reapproval? Is it,
I don't think the driveway was included in
Guess
20,
what, if you look
but
at
it
the
was
plan,
just,
It was,
but it was just a driveway, drive on it.
no, I don't believe so. I
if
believe
you
we had
pull up
the
the,
same
you know,
thing.
go onto that site and you pull up the plan from 2020, it shows,
Honestly, I think I remember the house, but I don't remember much beyond that, because
Well, we came back and forth because we made it bigger, then we went back to the.
you bigger,
footprint,
smaller,
and
up sideways,
Then there
you
was
know.
a pandemic, so, you know, it
Yeah,
took a
that,
while.
that was, yeah, an interesting thing. Again, I mean,
Oh, it's not here.
And the thing was, the order of conditions from before ran out, which is why the driveway isn't done, and which is why, when we asked Josh, he said just to add it to this.
do we have a certification of compliance for the first order of conditions?
No, we don't have anything on here. It might be down in the archives, but it's not online.
it should be on the, in fact, I downloaded it from the site.
The only things we have on here are building permits,
I
electrical
think they're
permits.
in the, one of the building permits, it's in one of the building permits.
You said it was in 2020 then?
Yeah,
Let's see.
Are you looking to see if there was what the plan was?
I am.
under the documents, I don't remember which building permit off the top of my head, but
I'm trying to see if there's anything in here.
there's one with like 13 or 14 documents.
Okay, someplace in here.
So one suggestion would be to approve the RDA, except for the driveway, and then do the research to see if the driveway is already included in the permit. If it was already permitted, then it's a moot point. If it wasn't, then come back with an RDA, with
Well,
a
NOI.
NOI.
It's expired, though, isn't the original one expired?
Right.
3 years are up.
that
So
was
it-
the problem.
even if it was included, it's moot now.
Okay.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
Because it was in there but expired.
So you couldn't do a amended order of conditions because it had expired?
Correct.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so it only came up because we were then already asking for the shed and the generator, which wasn't in the original one for some reason. Well, the shed wasn't that bad when we came the
Are
first
you
time.
finding something?
No, I like Scott's idea.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we will do more research on the driveway and what was permitted at one time. But at this time, I think we're looking at approving everything but the driveway in your RDA. So, I think, we haven't closed the hearing yet, have we?
Thought I did.
thought you did.
We closed the
Yeah,
hearing?
Kwame did, I
Okay.
motion to second it.
Sorry, not there. Christine, your recommendation, I heard, what, a negative,
-2, -6.
-2 and 6, and exclude the driveway.
So moved?
Second.
We have a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, 500. You got everything, and there will be research done on the driveway, and I'm sure Josh and you and Christine will talk about that later. Okay?
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thank you. I mean,
Thank you.
do you want these now, or?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to find out if I could find the actual plan on here from 2020.
Next, please.
There is one.
All right, there's-
The only thing is that.
This is a request for notice of intent for Kimberly B.
So there is
Patridge, and this is the trustee, 28 Durback Road, Rockland, Mass. And this is to propose the septic system upgrade, map 3, lot J, 13, 1 Wild Rose Avenue, Wareham, Mass. I guess that wasn't you. Oh, did I read the agenda wrong?
well, we're doing this one.
So I'll
Sylvester.
have to take that back.
Yeah. We're doing the,
Well, I'm just going down the line. I'm going down the line.
Sylvester was next.
200 Great Neck Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's it.
Yep, all right, well, that's what I had on here, so I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Bear with me. All right, here we go. This is the request for notice of intent for David.
I know Jennifer's here for this one, and I think she just stepped out when you called the other one.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Should we let her know that we're calling this one, because she stepped out because she thought we were doing the other one?
she stepped
Okay.
away.
Well, we're going to be continuing in this one because it wasn't staked.
Okay, okay.
But, okay.
Okay,
Read
no,
it, please.
okay. This is a request for a notice of intent for David Sylvester, 200 Great Neck Road, Wareham, Mass. And this is the proposed project includes removal of existing driveway, construction of a relocated driveway, installation of a new septic system, installation of a new well and water line, mitigation, plantings, and associated grading work within a 100-foot buffer of a bordering vegetated wetland, and within land subject of coastal flowage. Map 21, Lot 1002, 200 Great Neck Road, Wareham, Mass.
Please, right hand. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth on this project at 200 Great Neck Road. Thank you. Have a seat in it.
I do, thank you.
Tell us who you are, please.
David Sylvester. David's the homeowner. I'm Don Bracken, civil engineer and land surveyor with Bracken Engineering out of Buzzards Bay.
Okay.
Okay. So we did talk about this project maybe a few months ago to address the enforcement order and where we were with addressing it. And hence that meeting, we've submitted a notice of intent application that addresses both the work that was done without a permit and proposed work required in order to bring the site in compliance with Title V. First of all, David bought the place back in March of this year. He did put the driveway, a new driveway surface in when he bought it, which consists of gravel and reprocessed asphalt. The area that he put the driveway in was already denuded with gravel, weeds, and so forth. So obviously, in his mind, he thought he was just reorganizing the driveway and putting a better surface on the driveway. Obviously, he's learned since then that permits are required, and hopefully the plan that we're putting forth demonstrates, an effort to do the best we can to resolve the situation. So on the plans, you can see that we've relocated the driveway in order to get as far from the wetlands as possible. We'll reduce the overall size of the gravel driveway, which is going to allow the ability for more vegetation. On the plan, you can see the 30-foot no-activity zone. A good portion of that area was already disturbed prior to when David bought the property. Under this plan, the intent is to restore and renaturalize that entire 30-foot no-activity area, except for a small portion of the driveway where it comes off the common driveway with the neighbor. We're proposing several plants as part of the project to be installed as part of the renaturalization. We're also proposing 2 trees, three trees, 3 red maples. You can see on the plan, in order to facilitate the installation of the septic system, there are 2 large trees on the site that have to be removed. We're restoring those trees, taking out 2 and adding 3 more. The septic system itself consists of replacing an existing cesspool that's pretty close to the wetland now. It's closer to the wetland than the proposed system. As I'm sure you're aware, the Board of Health requires innovative alternative technology in this type of situation. And we did the maximum feasible compliance in the situation by putting the leaching field as far from the wetland as we could. It ended up being 51 feet, which complies with the state regulations. We know it doesn't comply with the local regulations, but given the fact that it's an existing condition and we have neighboring wells, and we have our own well to meet the separation requirements. We've been able to do that. And the way we've been able to do that is to relocate the well further back, as you can see on the plan. So the actual well location is technically outside your jurisdiction, but I think it's important to note the existing well right now is located within the flood zone, so we see this as an improvement as far as the Wetlands Protection Act to get that further away. And the well permit has also been issued by the Board of Health. So the resource areas on the site is the bordering vegetated wetland and land subject to coastal storm flowage, which encompasses most of the lot, including the developed area where the house is located. Also part of this project is we're going to remove the existing concrete sidewalk that's there and in place put stepping stones, hopefully to address runoff concerns from that impervious concrete sidewalk to something that's more pervious and will allow more absorption for the walkway path itself. All other areas will be loamed and seeded. The areas underneath the restoration area will be treated with a conservation seed mix. And I think with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica?
No questions right now.
Paula Jean?
I'm looking at the plan here, and for some reason, it's only showing me part of it. So I'm going to ask you, the spruce you want to remove, is that the big spruce if you're facing the front of the house to the right?
Yes,
it's
I have a-
closest to
It's
the
a
hou-
huge, big old spruce.
Very close to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 22 inches. I have a photo of it. It's,
Yeah, okay, that's one I saw.
If you're on the
it
site,
today.
yeah.
I know that tree. I just feel badly to see that happening. The tree absolutely has to go. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, we looked at that. We really wanted to keep that tree, but we had to maximize the distance between where the proposed well was. We also have a groundwater situation here we're dealing with, and we're right at the 20-foot setback to the house, so we try to get it as close to the house as we could.
I understand. So
yeah.
I know you have the list, I saw the list of plantings you're putting in, and I saw the three, the three red maples. And could you tell me the size of those? It was that, I think it was 2 or 3 something, but was it the circumference or the diameter of the tree trunk?
That's usually the circumference, 2 inches.
Okay, so we're taking out the
Oh.
huge,
The circumference or the diameter?
Obviously the diameter,
It's 2 inches,
yeah.
but a circumference is...
No, it's all the way around
the
2
math,
inches,
find a
yeah.
third
Yeah.
grader
Yeah,
to do
so,
the math.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go with
I
diameter.
wasn't sure which it was, okay. Because I would like to see more trees to make up for the giant spruce and everything else that happened there. It would be nice to have something more than 3 saplings put in. The other thing I noticed on the driveway, there's a tarp and there's a pile of mulch sitting on it. And I looked down to the left into the wet, and it looks like someone, maybe with a bucket, put in about a half a yard of the mulch is dumped over the bank into the wet area.
Into the wetland itself, I haven't noticed that, but
Okay.
obviously we'll
It's right
take-
next to, if you stand next to the tarp and look down, where the bank goes steeply down, you'll see this mulch, looks like it was dumped in there. And I wanted to ask about that.
I don't know if David can answer that when that happened, but I'm sure we can address that.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that was it. The mitigation plantings is what I was thinking about, that I'd like to see something a little more,
Well, my
a little more
concern,
of it.
my concern is all those plantings are within the 30-foot no-touch zone, but that's another discussion. Kwame?
No questions right now, thank you.
Michael?
You ladies already beat me to it with the maple spruce and the mitigation plan, so that's pretty much all I had. Good.
Scott?
Well, this is frustrating for me, because it's the second time I've been out there, and there's still no stakes. I couldn't make
yeah.
any heads or tails of what's going on out there without knowing where anything's supposed to go.
And because there is a lack of staking, this will definitely be continued because there was no way to tell us where things were to be put.
So then I
And-
will have questions for when it's continued.
Yes, so we have stated that there has to be staked at least a week before the hearing. So when we do visiting, we know where things are to go.
No, I appreciate that. I actually wasn't aware of it. I checked the regs. I didn't see it in the regs, but, we could have missed it.
May not be in the regs, but it doesn't, we have to be able to see where things are being placed, and without stakes, it's a guess.
Well,
Yeah.
and I understand that 100%. We're happy to put, as whatever staking is required out there.
Okay.
When you do that, could you put something there to indicate where the mitigation plantings are going to go, and also something to indicate the trees you want to remove?
Yeah,
So
that's
that
fine.
would
We
make
can
that
flag the
clear.
trees that are going to be removed.
Thank you.
And then do you want to see the 30-foot zone staked out on the ground, I assume? And then the
So would we?
septic
look-
system, or
the-
is
Yep, the
Everything.
dimensions of the septic
Right.
system, the dimensions of the proposed driveway,
new location?
yeah, the new location of the driveway, so we can see where you're gonna have your ending turnaround point, and something to show us where the 30-foot no activity is, and the dimensions of the septic system.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else, Scott?
No, not until it's continued.
Okay. Joe?
Not more of a comment. Paula Jean, you mentioned there was mulch being put into the wetland area?
Well, I
or-
don't know how long it's been there. I wouldn't say it's actively being put in, but there's a tarp on the ground all in, at the end of the driveway, and there's, I don't know, a couple of yards of mulch on it. And then over the edge of the bank, there's, I don't know, I think about almost a half a yard. I'm not sure what my old John Deere tractor's bucket held. So it was hard to estimate that, how far it went, but it's like somebody heaved some of it into the.
Gotcha. The applicant has no comment on that, or is that just?
I was going to say, we'll have it removed by the time the next meeting.
Yeah, we had mulched the property, but no edgings or anything we're
Okay.
taking out,
Okay.
so.
We'll just continue hearing, so I guess everyone else can get out there and see what Paula Jean saw.
And I didn't write it down, but I thought I saw some brush thrown in there as well, over the bank.
So we only bought the property in March, so
Right.
there's, we did the driveway, but besides that, really little work has been done.
Once this calls attention to the property, then we see these other things.
I'm sure, yeah.
I have one last question about the well, and I'm not an expert in wells, but is there any distance between wells that's required between a butter's wells?
That would be done by the Port of Health, correct?
Yes, I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know, but I know that I've talked to the neighbor, and they're concerned about any impacts from that well on their well. And, in my own professional opinion, I don't feel there's going to be any impacts. Given the flow, the water demand from that well, and, the unconsolidated aquifer and the sand that's there, the well will kick in, it'll pump about 30 gallons a minute, for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then that's it. Once it shuts off, they call it the cone of depression over the well, as it lowers the water table in that exact spot. Once it shuts off, it bounces right back up. In 40 years, I've seen wells a lot closer than that. I've never heard of any issues in these type of aquifers.
But the location of the well would be something that the Board of Health or zoning approves.
The Board of Health, and they already approved it. And, the reason we chose that location, you can see where the clearing is on the site. And we try to keep that water line in the clearing. We try to minimize how many trees had to be taken down. And so that's why, if we were concerned about it, we could have put it further into the site, but we'd have to take down a lot more trees. And there's some significant trees down there. So in my opinion, it's worth saving the trees, and in my opinion, it's not going to have any impact on that well.
Thank you. Christine, any comments on this before I go to the public?
No comments.
Okay, anybody online or the audience would like to comment on this particular project, knowing that we are going to continue it? So anybody come on forward and identify yourself?
Hi, Jennifer McNally, 200R.
Jennifer, have a seat, please.
200R, great. I just wanted to say the deer have been on the tarp pushing that loam all over the place. I've watched them.
Yeah, this was not like, I'm sure, because they're all over the neck. But this was like
Oh,
a
okay,
solid, a mass. Yeah.
okay. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else on commenting on this project? We are going to, no, anyone online? Is there anybody online? There are. Oh, okay. We are going to continue for staking, but I do want to look at the idea of having mitigation having to be done within our 30-foot no-activity zone. That area between the driveway and the wetland is pretty nasty, full of very invasive vines and stuff. I can see where you'd want it cleaned out because it's not very nice to look at, but that's one of the things we would have to discuss is having to put digging, disturbing in the 30-foot no-activity zone. But that's for the full board to discuss at the next meeting.
So just so I can clarify, the only mitigation we're proposing within that zone is already denuded. There's no like brush or trees or vegetation, so.
You're probably going to have to clear the existing brush away in order to do this mitigation. You're not going to put something in
Right.
the middle of that pile of brambles.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
going to clear the land in order to do the planting.
Of that material, yes. I
of
just
the
didn't
bad
want,
invasives and everything else that's there, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So we're going to continue, and when's our next hearing?
December.
4th.
12/4.
Make a motion to continue to December 4th.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, we'll continue until 12/4. So when we go out, any idea when you might be able to have that staked for us?
not next week, that's a short week, so probably the middle of the following week, which I don't have.
I think that's the first week of December. I think that might be the first week, though.
Oh, okay.
Be a week
The week after.
All right, so we'll get it done next week. We'll send somebody out there before Thanksgiving.
So if we wanted 4th, you're looking at,
That's tight.
yeah, Thanksgiving,
Yeah, and I think after that, pretty much December starts.
yeah.
I might be wrong, though.
I mean,
We got 1 week, that's it.
if we do it Monday, the 2nd of December, that only gives us a couple days to look at it. It would be nice if it was done prior to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, we'll make
Our
that
trips,
happen.
So
No,
we go out.
no, we were remiss not having it the first time, and sorry you have to go out there a second time. So we'll make it work.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Right, so
All
I
right.
messed this
Now the
one up.
next one
Yep.
is,
That's for Kimberly.
yes, Kimberly.
Got it right. The request for notice of intent for Kimberly B. Patridge, and this is the trustee. 28 out, let me see, I gotta blow
Here,
this
you want
up.
to try these?
I gotta blow this up. I got it.
Okay.
Okay, let me, request for notice of intent for Kimberly B. Patridge. This is trustee, 28 Durbeck Road, Rockland, Mass. Proposed septic system upgrade, map 3, lot J13, 1 Wild Rose Avenue, Wareham, Mass.
And
And I'd like to open up the hearing.
I have a motion to open the hearing. Second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. The hearing is held. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth on this project at 1 Wild Rose Ave.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated and identify yourself for the record.
Thank you. Good evening. For the record, Brad Bertola with JC Engineering on behalf of the property owner.
All right, talk to us about where you squeezed in that septic system.
It was tight. So, about an hour ago, we just got this plan approved from the health department. So if there are any concerns regarding setbacks under Title V requirements, they've been approved. Again, this project is a septic system upgrade. It's taking the two-bedroom dwelling that's currently serviced by a cesspool and replacing it with a Title V system, meeting maximum feasible compliance. The septic system will include a innovative system, microfast for nitrogen removal, due to the setbacks being within 150 feet of the adjacent bordering vegetated wetlands. The limit of work is shown on the plan is a dark bold line. We are maintaining the 30-foot no-touch for any site activities for that installation. The area that's being disturbed is all grass at the moment, so we anticipate replacing the area with grass upon completion to stabilize it. There is somewhat of a slope, so I want to make sure that it stays stable. We are approximately 37 feet from the wetlands with the leaching facility, and we are providing a liner on the north end along the property line for breakout issues, just to make sure that there's no issues with discharges to above the surface, because the grades to the north of the system are considerably lower than the location of the system, septic system. If you have any questions on the design, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, we'll go around. Jessica.
Can we go around the other way first?
Joe.
Or we'll switch off or something?
Joe. I'm not picking.
I have no questions.
Scott.
No question.
Michael.
Just one quick question. The erosion control barrier, is that going to be hay bales, something different, or it just said a proposed erosion control barrier? I was just curious what type of barrier that was.
Yeah,
that's
so
all.
it's, we're going to use the straw wattles with the silt fence.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
And I don't know if we caught it on this one or not, but I've been labeling as EC, erosion control, and not HB, hay bale.
Yeah, nice.
Gotcha.
Kwame.
Okay, Kwame.
No questions, thank you.
Paula Jean.
Well, I know you're here to talk about this system that's being put in, and had the person you're working for been here, I wanted to address that dumping is going on in the wetland there at the edge of their property. There's leaves that have been dumped, huge amount. I took a couple of steps in and it was up to like my waist. So there's newly dumped, raked or leaf blown or
Like leaf
whatever.
blowing or something?
They're dumping it down into the wetland. So I know that's like not part of the project, but that's kind of front and center for me.
Yeah.
And also in the wet edge, there's some plastic pallets on cinder blocks, trash, rope, debris. When I see all that, I just feel like it should be cleaned up first, and then we address the new projects. That's just the comment I want to make. Thank you.
So if I look at the plan, where do you find the debris?
When I was standing at the back, looking around the corner to the left where the failed cesspool is, take a few steps in between the failed one and the new one, and the bank starts to drop off, and right there, the leaves were,
Hey, Brad, what is that circle that represents on the plan that seems to surround that cesspool? What type of land is that?
It's that area of the cesspool is like a flagstone patio, and it's surrounded by like a stone retaining wall or a bank. It seems like it's been there forever.
yeah.
So it's not a depression full of water or anything like
no.
that?
No, it's,
So,
Raised up so it doesn't look like a cesspool. It looks like a little part of the yard.
it's almost
but
like
just
they put
beyond
the
that.
cesspool on grade and built
Yeah.
around it.
The dumping is a little bit beyond that, down into the wet.
I'd have to look to see any trash. I've been to the site numerous times and don't recall.
Plastic pallets, junk pallets down there on
I'd have
cinder
to-
blocks. But the leaves are what caught my attention. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is not a good place to dump your leaves.
I could make sure he doesn't push any more leaves into the...
Yeah, thanks.
and you want the trash picked up before we approve the project?
I always want that. But
But
group
is the
decision.
trash in the wetland?
There was some, you could see, it wasn't like huge amounts of trash, but once I got going with the leaves and then
Is it
the
something-
plastic pallets, I
Is
did
it
see
something
some.
we should report to inspectional services for
No.
violation?
I don't think it was like they said, we're gonna throw our trash out here,
Okay.
but there's an accumulation, but the leaves are clearly intentional and recent.
Okay. Now, Jessica.
No questions.
We went all the way around this time, and just kidding.
Your questions were great. They answered, everything was answered for me.
Christine, any comments on this project?
Paula Jean had the same comments that I was going to make, so no.
What would your recommendation be?
So the recommendation would be a standard order of conditions and just that they remove the debris and the leaves out of the wetland,
Remove the leaves and the debris.
from the wetland.
That seems acceptable as a condition.
And no more dumping.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, that said, anybody online commenting on this? Because there's nobody in here. No one's raising their hand, okay. So, I need someone to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, close the hearing, all in favor?
Aye.
500. All right, and now someone wants to take a stab at the order of conditions.
Sure. I move that we approve the project with the standard order of conditions, but that the leaves and debris that are in the wetland be removed prior to the work on the project.
Prior to the work starting, that be the motion.
Second.
And I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, we're 500. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one, please.
On the request for notice of intent for Timothy M. and Marcy F. Foot, 28 Arlington Road, Wareham, Mass. And this is proposed septic system upgrade, map 19, lot 110, L and M, 28 Arlington Road, Wareham, Mass. I'd like to make a motion to open up the hearing.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, and it looks like you're up again. Okay, Brad, I need you to approve. Swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth on this project at 28 Arlington Road.
I do.
Thank you.
I
Another
have two others
septic
tonight, too, if you want me to swear again.
Okay. Talk to us about this another squeezed-it-in septic system.
Yeah, we got a couple tight ones today, so. Again, for the record, Brad Bertola with JC Engineering. This project's located at 28 Arlington Road and entails the upgrade of an existing failed septic system. The existing three-bedroom house is serviced by a septic tank and subsurface leaching chambers and crushed stone, which is currently in failure. We are proposing to replace the existing septic tank with a new 1,500-gallon septic tank with a microfast insert, and we will be removing the existing soil absorption system and spoiled material and the crushed stone, and replacing it with a new soil absorption system, somewhat similar, but just slightly bigger to today's standards. The original system was put in 1988, so Title V changed their design requirements since then. All work's being taken place within either grassed area or on an existing gravel driveway. We aren't proposing any grade changes. It's relatively level, and we are proposing an erosion control barrier along the north side of the system, kind of coming off the side of the deck and running across the grass yard and around the arborvitaes that are in that location to try to protect those arborvitaes. As you can see, it's pretty tight in this location. Not much room to place the septic system. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Michael?
I assume that erosion control barrier is just like the last one?
Yes, so it's detail on the plan, straw wattles.
Gotcha.
Scott?
Just the same observation that everyone else is making, is a tight squeeze in there.
Yes.
And of course, this is much better than what's there presently.
Yeah, both this system and the prior application, we were granted approvals to reduce the size of the leaching, so they're actually smaller than what's required, but we tried to maximize it where we thought we could fit on the property.
So you're not going to dig this with hand shovels, right? You're going to bring in...
Yes, yeah. No, yeah, machines, yep.
Yeah, so you're going to be really close to the embankment.
Well, we're working on the street side, and so the machines are all going to be on the street side of the proposed work. So they'll sit in the grass yard to remove the tank. So all that, because there's no space, everything has to be pulled off. So everything's going to be excavated, put into a truck, trucked off-site, system put in, and then they'll have to bring back material. There's just no room to stockpile anywhere. But yeah, there's no machines going to be north of, or even in the location of the tank, besides, the bucket that excavates it.
Okay, thank you.
Kwame?
Yeah, that's going to be a tight squeeze, especially when right next to the shed.
Oh, that's just, yeah, that's removing, that's just a,
Going to just move it?
that's just like a little dog pen
Oh,
area
okay.
for, a
Yeah.
little fenced in, yeah. It's
so
just one of
that
those, like, Rubbermaid plastic.
Oh, I thought it was like on cement or something like that.
No.
I couldn't remember.
There's a couple cement, in that fenced area between, there's like some patio blocks or something beside the house. But
Oh, okay.
most of that area will probably be removed to allow us to connect from the house to the tank.
Excellent.
Paula
Thank
Jean?
you.
No questions, thank you.
Jessica?
No questions.
Where is the soiled soil going to go? Soiled
It'll be
soil.
disposed at a proper facility,
Properly.
yeah,
Okay.
properly. Definitely not in this lot. There's no
Soiled.
There's no room to avoid the spoiled material.
I wonder what would have happened. Keep in mind that this Agawam Beach is one of those that were slated by the town to be sewered, and they backed away when a lot of people in the area insisted that it not be needed. So the town backed away. So it might very well be somewhere down the line.
I
by
don't
the
think it
state.
was not needed. I think it was the cost per lot, the
Yes,
betterment that was an issue.
And it's going to be, and somewhere down the line, the state might very well come back to us and say, hey, you need to do, because they were going to sewer the area and take the pipe underground and put it up to the onset, sunset, sunrise, one of those over there. But it could very well be, it's on the plan for the state to have this area. So they
Yeah.
might very well be pushed back if it's there, if that nitrogen loading we have,
It is, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the property owners
they have no choice.
they have no choice. They're anticipating of selling the property, so they're required to
Okay.
update
right.
the system.
Just little heads up that,
They're aware, yeah.
okay. Is there anybody online for this project that would like to comment? Christine, any comments?
No comments.
Your recommendation?
Recommend a standard order of conditions.
Okay, nothing else to be said. I need to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close the hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstain. Okay, 500. Who wants to take this standard order, motion for the standard order of conditions?
Okay, I move that we approve the project with the standard order of conditions.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, 500. We have a continued hearing for Robert Cormier.
Thank you.
9 15th Street.
See you in 2 weeks, Brad.
This was to be, we were expecting new plans, and have you heard anything from them at all?
We haven't gotten anything.
They're the ones that gave us a hand-drawn sketch that had no idea of
Right.
where it's to go and how it's to be connected, so I'll take a motion to continue until 12:04.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Approved, abstained, anyway, 500, we're continuing until 12:04. The next one is Alexander Jew from 12 Angel Cove. There were brand-new plans submitted to us, and I sent you a note regarding that. They, oh, Brad, identify yourself. You don't swear, you've already been sworn in, so.
Thank you.
Just identify yourself.
Good evening, Brad Bertolo from JC Engineering for the record.
And then you tell us what you did to take it out of so much of the riverfront.
So as you were aware, at the last hearing, we've had a couple discussions or correspondence back and forth with DEP regarding this project. Because this is work within the riverfront area, it's limited to 5,000 square feet or 10% of the lot, or the 10% of the area of riverfront on the property. The Wetlands Protection Act also allows for the development of a house on a lot that predates the Rivers Protection Act, as long as you provide just the minimal area to construct a dwelling. So we had provided that last time. We tried to provide more space for the yard itself, but that was originally about 11,000 or 10,000 square feet of disturbance in the riverfront area. And because this property contains natural heritage, this board has the authority, or commission has the authority to request a wildlife habitat evaluation. I discussed with the applicant, and he'd prefer to not move forward with that, and is fine with shrinking down the land disturbance to get within the maximum allowed. It's under the requirement. So it involved reconfiguring the septic system, pushing it closer to the property line, pushing the septic closer to the house, and then moving the hay bale line. We also relocated the driveway to provide just the maximum amount of disturbance on the property. We pushed everything as far to the west as we could, because the majority of the property outside the 200-foot riverfront area is in the northwest corner of the property. We did restake it a week ago, and I believe I made the town aware of that, so in case you guys went out and took a look, everything that was originally there was removed, so there's no confusion in the future. Again, this is a new construction, single-family dwelling serviced by town water, utilities. The septic system will be microfast because it is within 500 feet of a wetland, but greater than the 150 foot as required by the health department. We are also providing roof dry wells to capture stormwater runoff, and the driveway is proposed to be gravel. There's no pavement proposed, so it'll still have some type of infiltration. Moving it actually took all work outside of the buffer zone to enter the wetlands or coastal bank. So the work involved on this new layout involves the flood zone, land subject to coastal storm flowage, and riverfront area only. If you have any questions on the new layout, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Kwame, question.
No, I went there a few weeks back. It's pretty wet out there, but that was very nice to see that they're going to set everything back further. So that being said, there's no questions.
Paula Jean.
No questions, thank you.
Michael.
No questions, thank you.
Scott.
No questions.
Joe.
No questions.
Jessica.
So we had asked about the priority habitat study, is that right? Mm-hmm. And the owner doesn't want to do that, instead just asked you to move the location so that wouldn't be a requirement, or?
Yeah, so the Wetlands Protection Act allows for a maximum allowed of disturbance within the area. And in doing so, you got to make sure that you provide erosion control, you handle stormwater in accordance with the policy. The other alternative in that same section of the Wetlands Protection Act is that for lots that predate zoning, predate the River Protection Act, the commission shall allow the construction of a house with the minimum amount of space around to construct the house and provide a septic system. But with the caveat that those lots that have natural heritage on the property, it's up to the commission whether or not a habitat study should be required. And that's when it is, under that instances, the commission has the authority to request one. So instead of trying to disturb the 11,000 square feet that we originally were proposing, we shrunk the project down to classify under the original, requirements.
Does it answer you? It does. Christine, any comments?
No comments.
Anybody online?
Not this time.
Okay. Christine, your recommendations.
Recommend standard order of conditions.
All right. I need a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. We are closed in hearing, and you heard the recommendation. Someone like to take a motion?
Make a motion to approve the project with the standard order of conditions.
That's the motion. I heard a second. All in favor? Aye, opposed, abstained, 500. The next one is the 95 Charge Pond Road, the bridge over Fairing Hill.
They requested a continuance to December 4th.
Okay. There is a request to continue until 12/4. I need a motion.
Motion to continue to 12/4.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained. It's continued. Then we have 1067 Main Street, Arsenal. Any-
Stayed right there. At that point. He likes to exercise.
Yeah, I could use it.
Please identify yourself for this project.
Good evening, Brad Bertola with JC Engineering on behalf of the property owner.
Did you schedule this so you got every one of them?
I just happened to be here, so I volunteered to cover them all. Actually, all the other ones are my project. This one is another engineer's in the office.
Hope you enjoyed your 30-second break, anyway.
Yeah.
Okey
All right.
dokey.
Again, for the record, Brad Bertola with JC Engineering. We presented this project 2 weeks ago, and there was some questions from the commission about wanting to review the cluster of trees that were proposed to remove next to the driveway, as well as some information on the dock that's apparently on the pond. We spoke with the property owner. He bought this property in 2016, never used that dock, wasn't his. It's not even on his property. So he really has nothing to do with whatever was there. I don't know if it was some other property owner that put it in, either this one or an abutting property owner. So that's all I have to say really on the existing dock. And again, I don't know if the commission has any questions on the cluster of trees that are originally shown to be removed. There was I think a cluster of a few pine trees just beside the driveway. That's proposed.
There was remove the cluster of trees and the material for the driveway. I believe that was also under discussion.
Yeah. He also cleaned up a lot of trash on the property within at least the 30-foot that was on the...
That was requested to clear
Yeah.
off within the 30-foot.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to start with you, Paula Jean. I'll give you to the end.
Okay.
I know. Joe,
No questions from me.
Scott,
Yeah, I'm not sure, is it removal of the asphalt that's currently on the driveway? Is that part of the project as well?
No, that driveway is to remain. It's basically just resurfacing the existing areas that are currently used as a driveway. to get to the back, and I think the only expansion that was proposed was to the side of the garage. And again, that's not going to be an asphalt driveway.
The homeowner was concerned about a little sapling. I think that was where maybe the tank was going to go? Can't remember exactly.
Potentially, I mean, if there's a tree, there's room to slide that either out, actually, in this case here, it'd be probably, we have room off the property line. We could push it actually away from the wetlands. And so for further northeast on the plan, which actually maybe would save that sapling. That's something that I was unaware of.
You mean that sapling next to the picnic table?
I don't remember the picnic table, but it seems like it was inside the stakes for the tank. But I told her that with all the equipment they're gonna have out there, they just scoop that baby up and put it somewhere else.
Because it's so tiny, it can be easily moved, yeah, okay. Michael?
No questions, thank you.
Kwame?
No questions, but pretty soon that won't be even a wetland because it's like drying up.
Yep, that.
Sad.
That Tremont Dam is
Absolutely
an
sad.
issue down there.
Yeah, big time. Not happy about that, but no questions from me.
Yeah.
Jessica?
No questions.
Okay, Paula Jean?
Okay, they want to remove a cluster of trees up near the building, the garage, and I looked at those, and some oaks, some white pines in there. It doesn't look like they are in the way of anything. Why did they, I mean, they weren't the most magnificent trees, but they're still live trees in the
Yeah,
area where it's being disturbed more.
Yeah, it's pretty
So-
clustered together, so they're probably not going to eventually survive anyways. And it's not in an area that is unpermittable. It's just, 80 feet from the wetlands, so we're well
Yeah.
beyond the,
Okay.
the,
I did look, I was there again day before yesterday, Friday, I don't know, what day is it? And there still is, you said he removed a lot of the debris that was in there. There's still a lot of it. There was spools was still there. There's a dumpster pretty close to the mill pond. I mean, I didn't pace it off if it, 30 feet, but pretty close. Upside down boat down on the shore, a hammock in the tree. There's still a lot of stuff there. The dock, if they say it's not their dock, okay. There is a boat tied to the dock and tied one end to the dock and one end to a tree, and it has a registration number on it, so I guess it would be easy enough for us to look up and see who owns MS6165B to find out whose it is. But it looks, the footpath to it came from your client's land rather than from the other house in the back, so.
he
I
hasn't
know.
used it, so it's not even on the
Okay.
property, so.
Anyway, that's questionable. The little pond down there is full of water. It's been there for some time. But that's all. I'm just commenting on that. There's still a grill there, chairs. There's still a lot of junk.
Within the 30-foot?
I believe so. Now, again, I did not measure it, but when you commented that it was removed or that he had been removing it, there's still a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some of it's easily within the 30-foot, some is probably borderline or maybe not that close.
Yeah. We have no problem with meeting with the property owner over
Getting that out.
cleaning up whatever's within the 30
That
foot.
would be great.
We can make that an order of conditions.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. Christine,
No comments on it.
your recommendation.
Standard order of conditions with the removal of debris from the 30-foot no activity zone.
Anybody online? Okay. What would you like to do, folks? I need a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing. I was waiting for somebody else to say it.
All in favor? Aye, opposed, abstain. Hearing is closed.
Suspense.
Okay, so we're talking about the driveway, the cluster can be removed, the septic can be put in, And we're looking for motion for a standard order of conditions with a stipulation that all debris be removed within 30 feet. Someone say so moved.
So
So
moved.
So
moved.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, second. I need a second.
Second, and
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstains, we're done on that one. We have a amended order of condition. Christine, yours.
So this is just to discuss amending the order. So how would you guys feel about amending this order of conditions? He
How old
has,
is it?
it's from this year, I believe. He has an open order of conditions. Actually, no, it might be from 3 years ago, or almost 3 years ago.
What is he looking for?
He's just trying to add a platform for a generator, and that's the only alteration.
That just hasn't been completed yet, so he's looking for 1-year extension?
No,
No, he
he's,
wants to amend the
he
order
wants
of
to amend it.
conditions.
Yeah,
To add for a platform for a,
yes, for a generator.
is that outside of, you're good with it?
Yeah, we would recommend amending it. He just needs to go through the process, so it has to be advertised still.
So, because it has to be advertised, we take no action tonight?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue with certification of compliances. We've got 4 of the little suckers. And one of them is, my God, 313? How old is that one?
Yeah, that one's very old.
Ah, okay.
So, recommend an issuance for a certificate of compliance for SE 076313.
What was it?
It was for basically resurfacing a road and part of a parking lot at Depot Auto.
no, that's the one.
It's a long,
So, okay. Yes, a very site that had a lot of violations. Okay, so this is it's all done and cleaned,
yes.
so we'll need a motion to issue the order certification of compliance.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstains? Okay, next one, please.
For 27 Agawam Lakeshore Drive, recommend issuance of the certificate of compliance for SE 0762869.
All good? All good. Okay, I'll need a motion.
Yes, to issue, I move that we issue a certificate of compliance for the request SE 0762869.
That's the motion.
Second?
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, done. Next one, please.
For 9 Glenview Circle, request a continuance to receive an updated plan on this site for SE 0762623.
Okay, so we'll take no action. Next one, please.
Recommend issuance of certificate of compliance for SE 0762572.
That's the recommendation.
Yes.
I need a motion.
Sure. I move that we issue a certificate of compliance for 2013 Avenue, SE 0762572.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. All right. All right, next. Is anything for continued enforcements? They're still work in progress?
We haven't received anything from either.
Okay, anything, any report?
No.
Josh is not feeling well, that's why he's,
Yeah, he's absent today.
and, all right, I'm going to ask, we have minutes to approve from October 16th, 2024. Some comments were sent in, were they corrected?
I believe so. I have to double check.
I think I seen an error with my name.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I did not keep my copy, but I thought I sent an email in as to what I wanted corrected on it. Give me a second to look, and You think your name is spelt wrong? I think they finally have Joe's name right.
Said Joe Still.
That was Scott the other week, right?
Yeah, I had two Scots for a while.
Let's see.
Good thing it's not the sewer commission, there'd be 3.
I think
Yes.
Patty had sent a corrected version to Josh.
Oh, I just exited out of it. Sorry. I thought I saw my name, it was pronounced like KWAMIE, and that's not right, but I can't find it. Should I just respond back and say, you know?
I've got the old minutes.
Oh, you did?
Wait, your first name, it
KWA.
looks longer than it usually
yeah.
looks to me. Is it M-I-E?
No.
No, okay,
It's
that's
just-
incorrect. Your first
Yeah,
name's
it's incorrect, but
Okay, so we'll take a motion to accept the October 16th, 24 as amended, correcting Kwame's name.
yes.
That be the motion?
So moved.
I have a motion, and I have a so moved. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? As amended, so that's October 16th. And as other business, where are we standing in paying these ladies?
I believe Josh has sent in the information that he needed. I don't think he's heard anything back just yet, though.
We're going for 2 years here.
But one of the problems is, because it's in a different fiscal year, that it's going to cause, I don't know how he's going to have it happen, but I'm on top of, I'm checking it.
Thank you.
And
It's beyond absurd.
when I checked with the accounting department, they don't remember seeing it. So check with Josh to make sure it's been submitted.
All right.
I brought Josh my credit card statements this week.
Yeah, they asked for a credit card statement proving that you paid the bill.
I wonder if they do that with their large contractors and other people to whom they owe money.
Honestly, I've never seen that before, but that's all
Tend to
right.
doubt it.
So I'll work with Josh to make sure that there's an issue with a different fiscal year component on that. Is there anything else to be added before we say goodnight? Anybody else?
Good night.
I want please make a motion to adjourn at
7:37.
7:37.
So moved.
I have that motion, and I have a second, and all in favor, aye. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank
Please
you.
turn
Good
us
night.
off.